Yes, indeed. Joe Riley is in the house, and we're in his house, Riley's poorhouse, although you wouldn't be able to tell that by the crowd in there. Is this just a typical night in the middle or in the end of the week in Carnegie?
You know, Rob, we always have live entertainment, and you can see the dinner crowds going right now. We have happy hour, and we got someone playing on stage. So, yeah, this is our typical Thursday.
We got to interpret this for Rob. He thought poorhouse was P-O-O-R.
Yeah.
It's P-O-U-R,
Yeah.
like pour beer.
I know that.
Yeah.
I know that. And speaking of that, he's already poured a half of one, and I'm sure there'll be a couple of more. His lovely bride, Pam, is here. The family will be here. You eat here all the time.
I do. This is among the best bar food in the state. I just love. In bar food, it might be an insult. I hope you don't take it.
Yeah, no.
It's
That's what it is.
Yeah.
But in addition to the sandwiches, my father-in-law loves the shepherd's pie that they have here. This is really a unique blend of, kind of like a chef experience as well as you want a great Reuben. You're not going to find a better one in the world.
We have a lot of ground to cover, but I want to start off talking about, I swear that Andrew Carnegie has been channeling me because I'm really trying to get the U.S. Steel Nippon Steel deal done. And here I am in the land of Carnegie. So all these things are going through my brain. I'm looking at the smokestack that was once standard in this town. Talk about why that still matters, especially to a small business like yours.
Oh, the history, you say Andrew Carnegie, we're in the shadow of Andrew Carnegie Library up on the hill.
I know.
So, the long history of Carnegie, this has been an establishment for 45 years. This main street, it's been up, it's been down. We got hit with a flood in 2005, Hurricane Ivan, but it's thriving now. It's not perfect. We're looking across at a block that used to have 18 apartments and an anchor restaurant, Papa J's. And that's been gone since 2018. We'd love to see Papa J's come back and bring back some of those apartments too. But the businesses here, you'll see someone leave here and go down to Scoops and get an ice cream cone. You'll see them walking back. It just, we thrive off each other.
So what made you want to do this?
I can honestly say I can't take credit for that because my brother bought the bar in 2012.
Right.
And he was part of a lot of expansion. Where we're sitting right now was a condemned building in 2012. And he tore the building down and started out slowly. And it's been enclosed as we go, what you could afford to enclose, and it's grown.
Yeah,
but
you come into a place and you think, well, maybe you'll run into the owner, but no.
How you doing, Mike? Do you know Rob Pratte?
Hi, Mike. How you doing, brother? Nice to meet you.
We're doing an interview right now talking about Carnegie.
Oh, well, as I like to say, Carnegie, but everybody pronounces different. Tomato. Nonetheless, good to see your shirt.
Good seeing you, Michael.
It's good to know Joe. It's good to know Joe. Only in Carnegie. Why do you think I love this place so much? I really do.
I know you're from Beaver County. I think a lot of the towns up there are the same. I know you. I heard you talking about Oakland. You have Oakland roots. My parents my father went to St. Regis, Central Catholic High School. Grew up in the city. This reminds me of what I grew up with.
Well, let me show you. Speaking of that, I wore this because of you, Mr. Diolis. Let me unbutton this. Right here, baby. Oakland. I really appreciate this. You guys had a great time with that little get-together, did you not?
We did. We had a great reunion. This must be the time of year for reunions. I know Lisa and her group had a nice 40th reunion.
We did.
40th?
40th.
40th reunion recently.
We talked about that.
We did. That's why I'm here, because I couldn't make it that night. And I love Susie McConnell. I love everything she stands for. I remember that state championship run. Seton LaSalle, I was with Lou Ciro earlier today. What a great place, Seton LaSalle. Talk about that, Joe.
Thank you. So we had a reunion weekend, Friday night, one of our classmates, Joe D'Amico, has Franco's restaurant out in Peters Township.
Yep.
They had one in Dormont, and his father was a well-known chef, had restaurants in Market Square, Fox Chapel. Needless to say, Joe figured people traveling from out of town could come out to Franco's on Friday night, and he was expecting around 25 people. We had close to 70 people show up for that. Here on Saturday night, we had over 100 people show up, and that was all. We all knew that in advance. Even with Hurricane Helene, we had 5 classmates travel from Florida, and 2 of them didn't come in till Saturday, till the actual day of the reunion.
And let's face it, you just celebrated a wedding anniversary, and your wife was a pretty fair hoop star in her own right. Talk about that timeline and those teams and those 2 talented ladies on the basketball
We're
court.
never going to hear the end of it, Rob.
Yeah, right.
Bragging for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
That's
That's
okay.
Take up the whole video.
Yeah, no, I'll just tell you this, Rob. Those girls, Susie, Susie's sister Kathy, and then they had a core of good complementary players. They dominated in grade school, and in high school they played volleyball, softball, basketball. We're state championships in basketball, 8th grade and 12th grade. And that was a very strong time for women's basketball. There were a lot of good teams, good athletes came out of Western Pennsylvania.
Listen, Greg and I recently had Susie, well, it's been a while, on the Coons Market Black and Gold Sunday show because of the WNBA. I got to ask you, I'm loving it. I'd love to see Pittsburgh get a franchise. What the Liberty has been doing to the Aces, who are the defending champs the last 2 years. I mean, it's great drama. 4.5 million fans. Everything's up. I saw where Brittany Griner, though, is going to play in this 3-on-3 league now that the regular season is over. So it's trending, and I can't tell you, there's no one more excited about it than me. But they've got to be sky high about it.
Absolutely. They were pioneers. Susie was in the league. She played. She coached. And not that they're making big money right now, but I think that's coming now with the TV and filling up arenas. But no, absolutely. The thing, I'll be honest with you, a lot of people, Caitlin Clark wasn't on their radar until her last year. She was on my radar her sophomore year. I mean, I follow that kind of stuff, and it's great, and it's not just her; it's the whole
Angel Reese, all of them.
They're all doing well, and there's a good class going to come out next year too.
The great thing that happened with them was the rivalry. It was almost like Bird versus Magic.
Yeah, man.
When you had Angel Reese versus Caitlin Clark, the way that they battled back and forth, and you couldn't have staged it any better. You couldn't have got the WWE people to say, "Hey, let's do this way," because that would have been exactly how you would have scripted it. They were battling with each other. You had the little bit of the race thing, and it came into the picture, but that it wasn't to the negative point, but it was a point of, hey, let's battle back and forth, and they did. And now Angel Reese has really taken hold of what's going on in the WNBA. To her credit, she has not backed down one iota from what Caitlin Clark was able to do. I don't know if you guys caught any of the 60 Minutes interview the other night.
I did.
Caitlin Clark was shooting the ball from 35 feet.
Right.
I mean, just a flick of the wrist. I mean, nothing different than what you see with Steph Curry. I mean, she was really something
Physical brand of basketball, up and down the floor, flying to the ball, great strategy, and they actually play the game the way it was meant to be played as a team. Even though she's shooting those bombs 35 feet from the glass, she's still working the ball and playing defense at all times. So really excited about that. I'd love to see WNBA franchise come to Pittsburgh. I think it would be lights out. It would be absolutely wonderful. All right. Greg and I are going to talk some football. I want you to hang in there because we're going to give you the honor of picking who you think is going to be the winner. And we've got the spread here in my hands. Greg and I, we'll save ours for the Coons Market Black and Gold Sunday show. But I'm just going to talk a little bit about the games. And, of course, great place to watch all that football right here in Carnegie. Tonight, Amazon, Tampa Bay getting 2.5 against Atlanta. I guess we can say I took Tampa Bay and Teddy took Tampa Bay. And
we're all over Tampa Bay tonight as far as our team.
I like Baker Mayfield. You know what I mean? it's tough to bet against them in this game.
All right.
And I'm just flabbergasted that they're an underdog in this football game tonight. It makes no sense. Atlanta stunk last year. They haven't shown me anything different for this year. How they can be a 2.5-point favorite is an insult to me.
All right, let's take a look at the Sunday action. Early games, Jets getting 2.5 against Minnesota. Sam Darnold's playing incredible. Devontae Adams wants out of Vegas. He'd like to be reunited with his former Green Bay Packer quarterback. We'll see where that goes. But I'm going to go with Minnesota, but I'll save more for Monday or for Sunday. But how can you not pick Minnesota, honestly?
Because they got a backup quarterback that's not been good for a number of years, and now all of a sudden he plays 4 good games, and everybody thinks this guy's going to be a champion.
All right, what do you think, Joe?
You know what? I'm gonna go with the Jets.
Okay, you got Carolina getting 3.5 against the Bears. Andy Dalton still quarterbacking for Carolina. Who do you like?
You know what? I think I'm gonna go with Chicago on that.
You know, he actually put some thought into it, better than what we do.
We just fired off the top of our heads.
But you got to admit, this Bryce Young situation is really kind of unique. You have to wonder if he's even going to be playing for Carolina
Or in the league at all.
Yeah, exactly. Cincinnati getting 2 against Baltimore. The way Derrick Henry's running the football, and I'm going to save the rest of my picks for this Sunday. Man, I tell you, Cincinnati needs this one bad, Joe.
Yeah, they're on their heels. I think Baltimore is going to continue it.
All right, Houston getting 1 against Buffalo. Buffalo, of course, stubbed their toe last week. Who do you like?
That game's at Houston. I'm going to go with Houston.
Okay, Colts getting 3 against Jacksonville. You think Cleveland wishes they would have kept Flacco? I mean, come on now. Who do you like in that one? Indianapolis getting 3 against Jacksonville.
Well, I tell you what, we saw what the Colts can do last week. I think I got to go with the Colts.
All right, Rowley's Poorhouse in Carnegie, and we're doing our picks. We always go by BetRivers.net as far as their line. Miami with no quarterback, and I think no future this year, and I'm not so sure will ever come back. They're getting 1 against New England. Who do you like?
I tell you, I watched that game. Their last ball game was that Sunday night, or you know what? They need to get a quarterback.
Like now?
Yes, they need a quarterback now.
I'd be calling for Russell Wilson if I were.
I got to say that
play on one leg.
I would go with New England in that ball game.
Listen, Russell Wilson's ready to play. He just isn't getting in the lineup. Cleveland getting 3.5 against Washington. Washington may be the surprise of the year, Daniels, but Cleveland is at that point of no return. They got to get a win here. They're getting 3.5.
Yeah, no, I tell you what, after seeing the Heisman Trophy winner playing like he is, I think you got to ride that wave and go with Washington.
How can that kid be playing that good?
He's good, and he was seasoned. He was in an offense at LSU that was, gave you a chance to get a NFL type of offense and NFL type experience, and he just has stepped forward. It's been really impressive to watch.
All right, Kyler Murray getting 7, Arizona. Marvin Harrison Jr. against Frisco. Brock Purdy. They're still missing some pieces. Who do you like in that one? Arizona getting 7. Joe.
That's a lot of points. I think on that one, I'm gonna err towards caution and say Arizona. That's a lot of points.
Vegas getting 3 against Denver. Bo Nix has been it. He's been playing some pretty good football. Go ahead.
Since he played the Steelers? He
Yes.
didn't look that good against the Steelers.
And he hung up 10 large last week, Rob. He had a big week.
All right, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm going to go Vegas.
Vegas?
Vegas.
Okay. Rams getting 3 against the Green Bay Packers.
I tell you what, I think the Rams are on the rise. Is Jordan Love still banged up, or is he back?
He'll be back.
No,
He'll be back.
He was in the game.
He was in the game last week?
Yep.
I'm going to Rams.
All right, Giants getting 6.5 against Seattle. Seattle looked good. They got a good coach. Came up a little short. I think the Giants will have full house changes here by next year, and that may be the landing spot for Bill Belichick. Who do you like?
Yeah, I don't know. Once again, that 6.5 scaring me a little bit. I'm going to go with the Giants.
New Orleans, Monday Night Football. Westwood One Radio, 93.7 The Fan. New Orleans getting 5.5 against Kansas City.
I have a hard time betting against Kansas City. I know they haven't been putting it all together yet so far offensively, but primetime game, I think they will. I'm going to go Kansas City.
Dallas getting 2.5 against our Steelers. Justin Fields, even in the loss, very impressive. The question is, the running game is so close, so very close. Hopefully they'll be able to get it back on track. I'm worried about Greenfield, Pennsylvania's own Mike McCarthy. I think his job is in jeopardy like right now. Their season is in jeopardy. Dak's been solid. CeeDee Lamb can do what he can do. But if Mika's out of this game, which right now looks like he will be, I think Dallas is in trouble.
I agree. I mean, Steelers got punched in the face last week in the first half. I mean, it's as simple as that. Their offense didn't look good. Their defense didn't look good. It looked like they thought the game was starting at 4 o'clock, not 1 o'clock, to be honest with you. They're going to be ready to play this week at Acrisure Stadium. They're going to beat the Cowboys.
What a couple of homers I'm dealing with here, ladies and gentlemen. If we were anywhere other than Pittsburgh, I would say these guys are nuts. But because you're Steelers fans, I'll give you a pass. You talk about Fields, what a great game he had. He had the ball with 2.5 minutes to go. They only needed a field goal to tie the football game, and he spit the bit. Fields did not play a good second half. When you are a good quarterback, you have got to get into the end zone with that last drive, and if you can't score on the last drive, you've done nothing.
So he led the team in rushing and passing, but he still did nothing.
So what? I don't care. Custer led the team in victories, and Indians still.
Great name for an ice cream parlor. Custer's Last Stand. Anyway, listen, what's it like here on a football Sunday? I'd love to do my show here. I'd love to be here. What's it like?
So, of course, when the Steelers are playing, it's really exciting. But you know what? We have the NFL ticket on. So, like this week, the Steelers aren't playing until Sunday night. You come in, all the 1 o'clock games are on. If you're sitting somewhere and the game that you want to see is not on, we talk to one of our girls and they're going to put it on for you. So it's exciting. We still have live entertainment.
Yeah, I know.
So
it's great.
Even on Sunday, we'll have some live entertainment, but it's a nice experience. But obviously, when the Steeler game's on, everyone's all fired up.
All right, just a couple of other sports things, and I'll say goodnight. I've got to head to the station. We've got In the Beer Garden tonight, Vincini Distributing. I'm sure some of their beers here. So join Eugene Ribnicki and I tonight because Oktoberfest is on everyone's mind, and I know it's on your mind too, right?
Absolutely.
All right, I got to talk about Pete Rose a little bit. I'm having a really tough time. I love Pete Rose, so I've been watching all this stuff. I heard the greatest interview that the legend Dan Patrick had with Johnny Bench. For the longest time, the ex-catcher here, I was really upset because it seemed as though they were not getting along. But in turn, that was not the case. Johnny Bench said they were on good terms. It was just a shame that his career had to end the way it did. But as far as what he did on the baseball field, Bench is rattling off all this stuff. And I'm like, my God, I know in my lifetime, I will never see a baseball player or any athlete in any sport have that much love for the game. And it is so sad how it ended. But nobody deserved the name Charlie Hustle Joe more than him.
Absolutely. I mean, growing up, that was the era where they were always big games when the Pirates and the Cincinnati Reds played. And Johnny Bench, Joe Morgan, Dave Concepcion, that whole team. But Pete Rose was it. I mean, it's amazing that he's, his trademark thing was that head first slide, but that was his game. That was his game. And the guy could hit. The guy never did not hit. He always hit.
Always.
I always love to be the contrarian in the group, but I can't disagree with what you guys have said with regard to
There is a God. He actually agreed.
Okay. I was going to go down to that road, but I
So explain to me, Kansas City loses 106 games last year. They're moving on. Detroit, out of nowhere, they're in it. San Diego has got a team to win it all. The Mets, as of today, still have a chance. What's up with our Pittsburgh Pirates? Pittsburgh baseball now, John Parado writing, Jason Mackey, Post-Gazette writing. I didn't realize how many years that Cherington has already been here. I love the Pirates. I love the ownership. But when are we ever going to get a Bobby Witt Jr.? And as somebody said, Greg Finley to me last night, he thought O'Neal Cruz was that type of player. No one loves the Pirates more than you. Please, Hannes Wagner, walk these streets in Carnegie. Somebody tell me, the Hannes Wagner Museum in Carnegie, when are we going to start winning baseball games in Pittsburgh?
5 months from today. We're starting 5 months from today, opening day. We'll be back in the race. We'll be in the race all the way until the All-Star break, and then we'll fall apart again.
Did you see these fans at Petco? I mean, it's like watching the NFL. There's something going on in Major League Baseball right now.
It's no different than it was in 2015 with the Cueto chant and all. We can get that back. And it's not that far away. You were starting to feel that groundswell when the Steelers or when the Pirates were 49 and 48 or whatever it was at mid-season. And you're thinking, hey, we got a chance here, and it just went the wrong direction.
Well, Rob, at the trading deadline, we were buyers this year and not sellers. So that was something different. But then we went on a 10-game losing streak.
Which is bought poorly.
But like what John Perotto wrote, in August, we were 2.5 out of the wild card race. What happened?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The bottom fell out.
What happened was your bullpen started giving up.
Well, they got rid of their hitting coach and their bullpen coach. I don't know if that's going to make any difference, but I know one thing: Shelton, okay, he's going to stay according to Sherrington. But you got 1 year, and you can't finish at 500. You got to leave us wanting more. And if you get into the playoffs, that'd be great. But if you don't, you better be on the upside of 500 next year. At this time, when we're looking back on the season, if they're not in it, they got to be on the upside. Last thing, Penguins, as long as you got Crosby, Malcolm, all good, you think that maybe we'll see some good stuff this year, or do they still need a goaltender?
Boy, I tell you what, I know we tried so hard to keep that group, that nucleus together, and I don't know. I don't know if the game's getting quicker on us or what. I hope some of our young guys can help. I still think Crosby's playing at a high level.
He is.
And he's the consummate team player, and what a great guy for the city. But I don't know. I think we need to get faster.
All right, listen, that quarterback at Pitt, you might want to give him a Reuben sandwich if he drops by, okay? Listen, let's talk about Pitt, North Carolina. Pitt is it. Hail to Pitt this Saturday.
You're talking about the 4-0 Panthers.
That's right, baby. Oakland.
The only undefeated team in the
So let's talk about this football team, North Carolina. Doable?
Well, very doable, especially in light of the fact that they get Rodney Hammond Jr. back.
Yep, I just saw that.
Yeah.
So you get hopefully Reed will also be back. Now you got a two-headed monster at running back, and throw them in with Holsey and that wide receiver core that has really gotten a stand-up notice now, and with Gavin Bartholomew kind of getting the rock now at tight end. This football team has been really something special, and North Carolina is struggling right now. Hopefully the Panthers don't pull one of those old-fashioned deals where they lose a game they should win, but they should win tomorrow or on Saturday going away.
All right. The Heinz Red Zone. Let's hope that we're there quite a bit this Sunday night. Man, do you have an apartment or something I could rent? Listen, this would be gold. And I come through Carnegie all the time, even when I don't need to, sometimes an hour before work, just to get that vibe. But to be able to walk to a place like this and to shop and live in a community, we get a Coons Market here, we're gold.
I'm telling you. There's a lot across the street. See if you can do a small one.
Listen, I can't thank you enough. But I wanted to do this for Susie, Seton LaSalle. I didn't make it to that wonderful reunion. But, man, that must have been a special night, huh?
It was. It went, you plan it, and you wanted everything to turn out well. And I can tell you what, that it was a great 2 days. Franco's out in Peters, and then here on Saturday. And everybody that came said they had an awesome time. And they want to get together now on quarterly happy hours or whatever. The school's contacted me, and I think we have something coming up on November 1st.
This guy's a magic marketer.
So I'm just telling you. So the Rebels, we're only, right here on our patio, Rob, we're only 4.5 miles from Seton LaSalle. You would think it'd be further. It's not that far. I mean, when we were younger, we could walk it.
Listen, here's what you need.
A driver and 2-3 woods for you.
Yeah, I know Carl Zachariah, another good friend of mine. They all love Seton LaSalle. Listen, the only thing you have to do get a hold of the wonderful folks at Odyssey. Let us bring that Coons Market Black and Gold Sunday show here, because that's Pittsburgh and this is Pittsburgh.
I'd love to do it.
What a wonderful place. And
Thank you.
An incredible
Thank
establishment.
you. Well, we're honored to have you here again, and every time you stop by, it brings a lot of excitement. And keep on driving through and stop in.
How many days till St. Patrick's Day? That's all I want to know. Greg Diolis Law, and I got to tell you, whoever wrote that commercial, it's priceless. If anybody's watching the video stream at various times and I start just doing this and laughing and clapping, it's when his spot is on. I love that spot.
It's mine. Plain my idea. They put the music to it, but I did the writing.
That's the kind of lawyer he is. He'll come and meet you where you live, the best. All right. Have a great night. I'm going to work at KDK. Good night. Tell them where we're at.
We're at Riley's Poorhouse.
Yeah, as in
Carnegie, PA.
poor.
15106.
Cheers. Good night.